This is a Reese's peanut butter cup. This is a low-carb peanut butter cup. When stacked against each other, they are the same, yet very different. To begin, he requires chocolate. He will be using Lily's sugar-free dark chocolate. He could, however, use normal chocolate, but this sad food is not allowed in his kitchen. To melt the chocolate, he will use a standard double boiler technique, but if you follow Black Tie Kitchen, you know he's not very good at it. However, he must try. Otherwise, he would simply cross off the nutritional facts and call it a day. He cuts 4 pieces of foil of the aluminium and shapes them into sort of cylindrical logs. This then is wrapped around the lip of a medium-sized pot. He places each log at 90 degrees from the previous, thus evenly spacing them around the lip. Then, with the aid of an unbreakable metal bowl, unlike his dome, the bowl is securely nestled on top of the pot, like a hen on her roost. He adds enough water to the pot to create a lake that is roughly an inch or 2 centimeters deep. Not much water is needed, just enough to generate heat from a low simmer. He places the pot over a controlled flame of medium intensity, then adds 2/3 of the bag of chocolate into the bowl. This is done off-stove to prevent the overboarding of chocolate chips. Once the water is simmering, he places the chocolate bowl on top. Holding it with a towel and using a silicone spatula, he stirs the chocolate and removes it from the heat to control the temperature, which is measured with this instant read thermometer. When he takes a temperature reading, it appears it might be too hot. Since the chocolate has melted, he removes it from the stovetop and says a prayer. Next, he could use a muffin tin, but it's not a great option. A silicone cup mold works best. Once the chocolate is back at the cutting board, he adds the remaining third of the chocolate and begins to stir. This drops the temperature of the hot choker, and eventually the chocolate is melted and again smooth. The subsequent temperature measurement is fine. Using a half teaspoon, or if you prefer less chocolate, a 1/4 teaspoon, he pours chocolate into the mold at the rate of 5 cups per cycle. Then, using his finger with a blue glove, a black glove, or simply naked, he rubs the chocolate upwards into the cup, not around. He wants to move parallel with the ridges, not perpendicular to them. This process is repeated for all the cups in the mold. Then it is set aside to cool. Next, he juggles the aluminium logs, or rather attempts to, and cleans. In a small pot, he adds 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. He could make his own peanut butter, but instead opts for the store-bought version, made only with slightly roasted peanuts. As he struggles to open the package, he notes, you could use almond butter in the frustration-free packaging, but these are peanut butter cups, so 9. He roughly scoops about a cup of peanut butter into the pot. Not enough to make a dog happy, but enough to satisfy a baby elephant for roughly 13 seconds. He adds kosher salt, and for sweetness he will use allulose. You could use erythritol, but he wants to avoid the graininess when it recrystallizes. After all, he doesn't want sand in his crema. He adds about half a cup of sweetener and mixes until it's well incorporated. Afterwards, a quick taste test, and it suits his personal preference. He removes it from the stove and sets it aside to cool, which is when he notices his chocolate is a bit odd. Upon close inspection, the base layer does not appear to have tempered correctly, leading to a chalky and crumbly chocolate layer. So, he must do it again. This time he asks for a more foolproof way, by creating the Chocolate Melting and Tempering Station version 1.0, i.e. his immersion cooker. He determines it will take some time to melt the chocolate at 96 degrees, so he will wait. When he returns 30 minutes later, the chocolate is melted. He turns off his cooker and repeats the same process as before. When he returns, the chocolate does not look ideal, but he convinces himself that all will be okay. Using a spoon, he adds the peanut butter crema to each cup in the most non-uniform method possible. Each cup is a snowflake, unique in its own way, and designed a trophy for its mere existence. He disturbs something he dares not wake, so he lays a towel to muffle the sounds of dinner. Once the peanut butter is smoothed out, it is time to complete the cup by covering them with the remaining chocolate, which looks a bit like taffy. It will be okay, he thought. It will be okay. The next day he returns to inspect the fully cooled cups.
I failed.
They are not as they should be. As he removes them from the mold, a clear distinction can be made among them. The different temperatures for tempering the chocolate clearly show the behavior at cooler and warmer temperatures. They're chalky, crumbly, and hard, not what you want in a peanut butter cup. Which leaves us with only one solution. We must do it again.
One more time.
This time he uses semi-sweet chocolate chips and places them into a 105-degree water bath. Using a teaspoon, he measures out the peanut crema into each cup. The cups are topped and placed into the freezer for 10 minutes. This accelerates the cooling and allows for easy removal from the mold. Then he cleans, because ounce. Once time has expired, he removes them from the freezer and the mold. These are as expected. Perfect.
Much better.
He sets them aside, and when compared to the first batch, these are rich in color, shiny, and soft. Compared to a Reese's peanut butter cup, they are, well, larger. Upon closer inspection, the peanut butter crema in the Reese's is crumbly and hard. When stacked against his low-carb version, the peanut butter is soft and there is more chocolate in the cup. Overall, a better tasting and healthier option. An option to keep you on track with a low-carb and keto diet. These low-carb peanut butter cups also pair incredibly well with these milkshakes. Until then, eat well.